being first to market. Everyone knows the value of being first to market, other than marketing teams. It's ironic because the team that generally is gung ho on getting first to market are product teams. They see the value of getting their new technology, their new product, their new innovation out there before anybody else. Marketing teams, per se, about marketing material, very not into being first to market because it means first to market on the marketing side means getting ahead of a trend, and being ahead of a trend super uncomfortable. Maybe the trend won't work out. Maybe the trend will be slower to develop than we thought it was. Maybe we're completely off here and we'll be completely vulnerable and exposed. So it's interesting that the creative people are the ones who are the most timid about being first to market, whereas, your boring product people are generally people who are excited to be first to market. That's kind of weird, but it's true. And the trend now to get ahead of is AI, or rather the pushback against AI. And that sounds uncomfortable to even say or listen to. I actually don't care to say it. It might be uncomfortable for you to listen to, but that's okay too. Being uncomfortable is being a part of life and growing. I'm going to prove it to you. Well, first thing is, by the way, enterprise teams have already been pushing back against AI for a long time. You just don't hear it because in general, you don't hear from enterprise teams. They kind of keep things close to the vest and not out there in social media screaming blah, 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 blah. But they've been like, wait a second. So I have a big budget, big audience, big money, big stakes. And you're selling me this AI thing. Looks really cool, but how good is it really going to be? I don't want to risk it. So AI on the enterprise level has already been getting a lot of pushback. You just don't hear it. The second thing is Coke. And I'm going to prove it to you that there's pushback against AI starting now, and you should get ahead of this trend. And again, I know it's super uncomfortable. Look, I was talking to a client just the other day or last week, like the other day. And I said, your product is pretty much the anti-AI. So lean into that. And you can feel the struggle there. And I get it. But you have backup now because Coke is going anti-AI. What? So if you remember, Coke did an ad around holiday time that tried to recreate an old nostalgic ad that they ran years ago by using AI. And it was received horribly because it was basically people moving in awkward ways because it was AI and that didn't connect. It didn't resonate. Why not just use real people? So you know what Coke did? Coke recognized the error of their ways, which is super cool for a brand to see, by the way. Great case study on this. What Coke did recently was release a 6-minute video ad movie of a development of a corner store, the owner of a corner store, and their journey selling Coca-Cola products. When they first opened, let's say it's like, the 80s or 90s, two kids walking up to the counter with, a can of Coke, a can of Sprite, whatever it was, and say, hey, the computers are taking over. Oh my gosh. And the owner behind the counter is like, nah, we're going to be all right. Fast forward to now, the daughter takes over the store. Two kids walk in. They're trying to buy a Coke and they're talking about AI taking over the whole world. And the daughter turns to the husband behind the counter and says, I think we're going to be all right. That is Coke pushing back against AI in an unbelievable way. It's amazing to see. It's amazing to see them, A, recognizing the error of their ways, and then very publicly going out there and saying, hey, we goofed. This is a better way to approach things. Community-based marketing. We're pushing the AI aside. That is pushback against AI from a major brand. So if you're a marketer, getting ahead of that curve, being first to market, whatever your market is, being the anti-AI, and that doesn't mean being no AI is bad. It might mean just, humanizing things a little bit more, or putting a human first message first and putting the AI message on the back burner second is invaluable, in my opinion. Depending on your niche, by the way. However, be careful because some data Greg Sterling shared with me showed that people are actually losing their jobs for not being gung-ho about AI. So if you are on a marketing team and you know that they're all in on the AI, be strategic about how you go about peppering in, more human first elements. Don't go all in. It's not worth losing your job over. If you are with a brand who does get it, then great. Be ahead of that trend. Now, you, CMO, VP of marketing, whoever you are, who are getting rid of people because they're not gung-ho on AI, are you mad? That is crazy. I've managed teams for years. I used to manage 300 people, which is bonkers to think about. And that was a long time ago, even. I'm going to tell you something. You can train people to, do more with AI. You can bring in other people to do more with AI who are on the AI. Finding good people who are good at what they do and who are good people, transparent, is hard. And when you don't have them, that's when you miss them. In other words, you don't realize what you have until they're gone. So don't make that mistake. Also, VP of marketing, CMO, you're supposed to be a good brand marketer, right? What message does this send to your entire marketing team? Not a very good one. There's a lot of latent signals that you should be worried about sending with this. So I would urge you to find a different path other than you're not gung-ho in AI, you can't work here anymore. Because in a year from now, you're going to miss them, especially when AI takes a little bit of a step back. So let's think this through a little bit. Let's be a little bit more thoughtful and a little bit more holistic about all of this. And if you can get ahead of this trend, I urge you to get ahead of this trend because it's invaluable if you can.